Seriously, Lars Von Trier, what the fuck is going on in your head?
That smells great.
I'd say it's time to seek some serious therapy.
You must seek therapy. That's where I would go with that.
But to be honest, it was time to do that back in Y2K when you released Dancer in the Dark. Any director that feels the need to sadomasochistically torture his characters like this obviously has mental issues. I just wish he'd work it out with a good therapist instead of imposing his various psychosis on unsuspecting audiences around the world. You guys remember that time when Von Trier declared himself a Nazi and basically ended his indie Hollywood career?
I really wanted to be a Jew, and then I found out that I was really a Nazi, you know, which also gave me some pleasure. So I'm kind of, yeah.
I've got to say, I'm just a little surprised that the sheer act of making Antichrist in 2009 didn't already achieve that end. Because if this isn't a career ender, I don't know what is. So Antichrist is Von Trier's exploration of grief, mental illness, and genital mutilation because, well, Von Trier lives to spread positivity and goodness to his audience. Oh, sorry, typo there. I meant to say the cunt lives to fucking traumatise his audience.
Oh, gods, you're evil.
I mean, really, what kind of benefit do we get out of allowing... sorry, guys, I'm getting some kind of call here. Just hang on a sec, I've got to take this. Hello, Popcorn Lobotomy.
Hello, Harvey. I hear you're talking some shit about my movie, yeah?
Well, yeah, I'm reviewing fucking Antichrist.
How can you criticize my movie? I'm just giving the audience what it wants, yeah?
You think people want to see a stillborn baby deer, a woman cutting off her clitoris with scissors, and a guy having his balls crushed and ejaculating blood?
Well, of course they do. Fun for the whole family, yes? Even if they don't say it out loud, people love to see abject human misery and suffering.
No, Lars, I'm pretty sure that's just you that wants to see that.
Well, perhaps if they'd let me show more underage anal rape, then I could really begin to entertain people. But alas, that is considered pornography. Except in Europe. We can show anything in Europe.
You're a sick fuck, Von Trier.
No, it's all religious metaphor, don't you see? It's an inversion of the Christ myth, yeah? It's intelligent art, I tell you.
Mate, you said it in an interview you have no idea what it means, and you dreamed up the imagery in a shamanic sweat lodge.
Well, yes, but what if it's nature versus nurture? Deathmatch style. No? No?
I'm hanging up now, Lars.
Okay, but didn't you like seeing the fox eating its own asshole?
Say goodbye, Lars.
Oh, I'm a Nazi. I understand Hitler. I'm interesting, goddamn.
Look, unless you're curious to see Willem Dafoe's cock, and yes, ladies, he's quite well hung, or want to watch two sinewy, spindly actors fuck like a couple of greyhounds fighting over a piece of rotten meat, or enjoy seeing children and animals suffer, Antichrist is just another really desperate cry for help from Von Trier.
I have sickness all around me.
It's really a shame, as there was some good acting, beautiful cinematography, and a pretty interesting premise here about a couple dealing with the grief of losing their child. The first half of the movie has some really compelling emotional moments, until it all devolves into a macabre, Fatal Attraction-esque shock fest. It's like Von Trier was making a grounded, realistic drama about grief, but then heard how successful the two Hostel movies had been and decided to add a sprinkling of torture porn to the proceedings. Seriously, it's so confounding and disturbing, some reviewers treated it like a fucking horror movie. Okay, I guess you could see some parallels. I mean, the kid's parents lose their kid while they're fucking, so I guess if they were camp counselors and the kid ended up stalking them to get revenge for their negligence, it'd be a familiar horror trope. But then again, you could equally argue it's a biblical allegory, and many have done so eloquently.
Say, Jesus.
Nature is Satan's church.
I mean, yeah, you could say instead of Jesus, it's Satan. Instead of the virgin birth, you've got a death due to fucking. Or instead of 3 wise men celebrating a birth, you've got 3 beggars demanding a sacrifice.
When the 3 beggars arrive, someone must die.
But you know, I subscribe to the Roger Ebert school of thought on all this. If you have to ask what something symbolises, it doesn't. And if that's not enough for you, ask Von Trier himself.
I am really the wrong person to ask what the film means or why it is as it is. It's a bit like asking the chicken about the chicken soup.
What the fuck? I thought I hung up on you. Fuck, I'd do a conspiracy rant about it, but the truth is I don't think Lars needs any help from the elites to peddle his negative thoughts and traumatizing visuals. I mean, sure, they play right into the elites' agenda of making humanity despise itself and probably promote some awesome population control measures like female circumcision and not to mention mass depression and possibly suicide. But the truth is Lars probably just makes these movies because he's sick and desperately needs some help.
When I look around and look at works of art that I like, they all contain melancholia to some point.
You know, if it weren't for the revelationary twist at the end, this movie would have been a dead loss. What's that? You didn't get the twist? Oh, it's awesome. Think about it when the three beggars come back at the end. Come on, they're obviously Force ghosts. Mind fucking blown, right? Antichrist was a Star Wars movie all along. Look, there's always going to be fuckwits who come out and defend this kind of film because they want to seem deep or intelligent.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books.
But for the 99% of you who live in the real world and like normal things, such as the smell of freshly shampooed puppies or the taste of ice cream and berries, just don't be tempted by this art house bullshit when you next see it on Netflix. Antichrist, 1.5 stars. For nature photography? If you like this video, click like. That's what that fucking button's for. If you want to see more, click subscribe. That's what that fucking button's for. Otherwise, go about your day. I don't care.